Hello everyone, this is Kat Carson of Wool Gathering Scene. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are playing with paper and threads. I have paper right here, any scraps you have. And yeah, I have an insane amount of threads or embroidery floss or embroidery threads, however you call them, DMC floss. And these are left over from my mom and my aunt. They used to love cross stitch or cross stitching, and I did as well. But these are from them. These are their leftovers. I would pick up a few from estate sale or garage sales, thrift stores if I find them. But I usually just run out of the basic color, black, white, or the dark ones. But like these are from my aunt and my mom, and I'm still working on them. So since it's a no buy year for me, I looked inside my closet or craft area and check what do I have the most that I really want to use this year. And so I realized I have a lot of threads. Okay, so we're working with threads and paper. Okay, for my first idea for using up my embroidery floss and paper, the most obvious one is stitching. You can I made a journaling card, and I did it's my poor attempt on a blanket stitch. I do like how it looks, even if it's not perfect. It kind of gives it that homemade vibe. The only thing that I need to work on now is I pull them too hard. Don't pull on them too hard, or else it will rip. We are gonna go ahead and make one right now. I already pre-cut things so it's faster. Okay, so right now I'm showing you showing you the wallpaper border that I use. I found them on regular Goodwill, and there was quite a few of them on that day. But I decided to just pick these two. I didn't want a whole lot in my inventory. Don't have enough space, so I just wanted like a few, and I'm glad that I'm using them right now. Okay, so this is where I am marking a 1/4 inch on the back of my journaling card. This will guide me when I do my stitching. You could just, if you do this, you could just do a basic back stitch. It will actually cover up the lines that you did. But for me, I just decided to do a blanket stitch. I don't know why. I feel like it's more interesting in a way. But but the only thing is, if you do flip this on the opposite side, you will see my pencil markings. But I'm okay with it. It didn't bother me. I didn't even erase it, to be quite honest. But I'm just doing a blanket stitch on this one, and because I do like the homemade vibe of it. It does give it that look. Second thing you can do with paper and thread is it's like you can use it to draw things. Let's see, I have a picture of a dog. I got this from a vintage children's book. And I'm just gonna fussy cut this. Okay, so I'm just gonna switch from voiceover to a live voice. Is I'm not quite sure if that's how you call it, but yeah. Because if I don't fast forward my clips, it will my video is just gonna be way too long. I mean, it's already long as it is. It'll be even longer if I don't do voiceover or fast forward. Right now I'm just doodling bunch of stars on my page. Okay, so I'm splitting my thread into half. They come in like six strands, and I just decided to just get three. I didn't want my embroidery to be too thick, or my stitching to be too thick, so I cut my uh I I split it in half. Right now I'm just poking holes the on my illustration on those stars, and I'm just poking the ends of the stars. I didn't do any complicated drawing, just a star. By poking the ends of it, each end of it, it'll just guide me to where I will be sewing. It'll just be faster for me. Plus, the tag is already pre-cut, or it has already holes in it, so it'll be easier for me to do my sewing. And like I said, it will just guide me, so I can easily make my shape. Okay, keep this. We're gonna do something about your leftover threads at the end. Okay. So I'm just drawing three little lines on each of my stars. It's some sort of starburst for each of the stars, and now I am poking just the ends of it, just to guide me when I do my embroidery. I switched up my thread to gold, again, just to give it more interest. I feel like the switch up does kind of enhance the little stars. But yeah, that's what I did here. So now what do we do about the backside? Okay, so I have this other card. These came in a set, but they kind of, I do like to keep the line part of this paper, because I'm gonna use it eventually as a journaling card. So I prefer a thicker paper to cover this, so when you do journal on it, you don't feel the bumpy stuff. So I'm just gonna line up this and glue them together. And just to finish my tag, I just added a sticker sentiment on it. And yeah, there's my finish tag. There's my drawing or my embroidery using thread on paper. So the third way of combining paper and thread is by making a belly band. So right now I'm punching out circles, and I will use them to decorate my belly band. The last circle I'm cutting in half, and this will hold the each end of my thread. So yeah, that's the end of the thread. I'm gonna glue that on the bottom of the page. I would staple it for added security and also for added interest, because that's another texture that you add on your page. Plus, my staple has a different color in it. It's not just that silver. Yeah, so again, more interest on the page. Now, carefully pull it so you can glue it to the top part of it. Well, I turn it upside down, but yeah, so you can glue the other end part of it, but pull it, but not too tightly, because you still need to put a journal in between. And staple it to secure it. Yeah, just make sure you have enough room for a journal card. So now I'm just gonna sandwich these this thread on those two shapes that I have. I put one underneath the thread, and then I am going to glue another circle on top of that, sandwiching the thread in between. I started off in the middle so I can evenly space out the rest of the circles. So now I know I can add two more on each side. And there's my belly band. Oh yeah, I also what I'm talking about is I picked the exact same paper as the one I used for the front of the page, just so, I mean, cohesive. You have that consistency throughout your journal. That way, when you do a flip through, everything's cohesive. Now I am just making a journaling card that will go on this page. Again, so everything is cohesive. I use the exact same wallpaper border to decorate my journaling card, and I picked the one that complements the, although the red one does too, but I picked the one closest to the colors of the flowers on the opposite page. So I pick the a different kind of flower, but with the same purples and blues on it. Again, for cohesion, um, it will balance your whole layout when you open up this page. Like your layout would look cohesive. And yeah, there's my finished journaling card. So the fourth way of combining thread and paper on your junk journal is by making tassels. You can attach them on tags, on a journaling card, or on this case, a photo. That was our dog McGee. Let me show you how to make one. And I'm not gonna make a thick tassel, not like, because the one I made for my dog McGee, the tassel is a bit thick. This one, not so much, because it's just gonna be a tag for it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I have this piece of cardboard. It's a bit thicker cardboard. I am going to just loop my thread a few times until I get the thickness I wanted. Don't forget there's also the thickness on the back side of it, so pulling more. Let me, not good. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this. Okay, when you do this, make sure the last loop you get is the bottom part. Like this is the bottom part of it. Make sure you loop it, and then you get the thing facing or going the same direction as your other end, like it's going down. So we're just gonna trim it down here, and then get a little bit more, like the length, just a little bit more, just to know what length you're gonna use, and then some extra because you know you're still gonna trim it later on. So just get a short piece and just slip it right in between this, the loops. So you see I just slip it right in between, pull it towards the end, and just make a loop. And I'm doing 3 loops for good luck. Okay, so that's tightly secured. Now you can go ahead and pull it off the card ever so slowly. You can even kind of curve it and just start pulling your tassel off. Now you're in the middle of it. Don't lose that because we're gonna cut off the end to make the fray ends. There we go. And some people use comb to kind of fray it even more, or their scissors. Okay, now we're gonna grab a bit more of the thread, and we're just gonna do a few loops. Make sure it's tight. Oh, allow some extra space so you can like um, comfortably tie it later at the end. Okay, so just kind of loop it around a few times. Oh no, my dog's having. Okay, and then now just tie this. Make sure you don't tie the top string. And the third one for good luck. Okay, now just cut off the ends of that. Make sure you do it tightly. Again, save these, save the thread. Now you have a tassel. Now you see that part of it, it's not even. Okay, so just cut the edges so it's quite even. So the fifth way of combining thread and paper together is by making a pattern. So I have this piece of a card. It's actually a file folder that I cut into a small, like for a journaling card, and I'm just adding double-sided tape on the end because this would hold my temporarily hold my thread on each end while I make my pattern. Yeah, so I would just pull it across the page, the journaling card, stick it on the opposite end, and continue doing the same thing till I make a pattern. Make sure the ends of the threads are secure on the double-sided tape just so it doesn't get loose, and it will keep its shape. Now I'm just gonna go opposite way. Yeah, you see how it's kind of not in shape? Just kind of move them around. Um, at the end, you can even glue them on the page, on the journaling card, just so they stay in place. But yeah, just keep adjusting them. Be patient. Now I'm just adding a strip for the ends to hold the threads permanently. Yeah, this way they're secure on the page and so they're not gonna go anywhere. Be careful when you trim the edges of the paper or the strip so it doesn't cut your thread. and just put a generous amount of glue so the your threads stay in place. And there you go, we made a pattern. Recap, this is how I've combined paper and thread together. First I did, because you can just do stitching. you I could have done a basic stitching on here as a border for my journaling card, but instead I did a blanket stitch. I can journal on the back of this. I made 2 cards. I used just a plain scrap of paper, and this one is a wall border that I fussy cut the flowers and just decorated this page. The second way you can use it also by stitching is by doing some sort of illustration. So yeah, so I made this. I made this guy. I made a little illustration of stars with some sort of starburst on there. I used a gold thread for the starburst and just some blue-green on the stars, and I made a little tag out of it. The third way to use paper and thread is you can make a belly band. Right here I made a belly band using a thread and just scraps of paper just to decorate the thread. It kind of helps to hold the paper as well if you have some sort of paper that's kind of like a banner. And then I just made this journaling card as well out of just scrap of paper using the same wall border. I fussy cut a flower with the same color as these 2 right here, just to complement the opposite page. So now you have kind of something cohesive, and so yeah, that is my third way of combining paper and thread by making a belly band. The next one is I made a tassel. So right here I made a journaling card, and I added a tassel on the end of it just to give it a decoration with some few charms in it. Here's another way to add tassel to combine paper and thread. Yeah, I made another tassel right here and use it for my tag. And lastly, here's another tassel to decorate a photo. I just punch out a hole down here in the middle of some sort of card. I made it to look like some Polaroid, and on the bottom of it I just punch out a hole and then added my tassel on the bottom, just some sort of to decorate it. So that's another way to combine thread and paper. And then lastly, I made a pattern, some sort of pattern. You can use it like a few different ways to make a pattern by just using some thread and paper. With what I did before, I just put double-sided tape around it just to help hold the thread when you wrap it around the card. And then I use just strips of paper. These are my scraps, just to glue it down on the edge, just to hold the thread in place. And there you go. That's the last that's the fifth way of combining paper and thread. And it gives it texture. Yeah, the thread gives texture to your pages, more added, like just more added interest. And I just kind of combined these two together and made some journaling spots that I can journal in. And then as an added bonus, remember when I said to save those small pieces of thread? I just kind of crumple some of them and then glue it with my cluster. These are just scraps. This one is the leftover I used from the belly band. Here's another strip. You know how I like the strip on my scrap of paper. That's that. And then I just made a little banner out of it. Put a sentiment sticker on the top, but in the middle of it, or on the back of it, you can see some of my leftover thread that I kind of just glued on there, stapled it, and then glued the whole thing on here. There's no staple on the back because it was on the, but yeah, that's as an added bonus. You can also do that to your leftover threads. So there you go. There's your journal card. It goes just in here. I made this as a pocket. But yeah, those are a few ways to combine thread and paper together. Let me know what else idea that you can come up with. But now I thank you for watching. Bye.